All right, y'all, let's talk about some pricing. Cashly, so excited to be here. My name is Ashley Kirkwood. I run the Speak Your Way to Cash podcast and co-own the Speak Your Way to Cash company with my husband, Chris. We help speakers, experts, authors, and entrepreneurs to sell more services, book more stages, license their brilliance, and use speaking as a powerful marketing tool. So I am really excited about today's topic. It's all about pricing, y'all. And look, here's the deal. I did a deep dive on pricing research, looked up what the trends are, and I have some good news and I have some bad news. Ooh, good news and bad news, y'all. Here's 3 truths about pricing you need to know. Number 1, I believe your message matters more, your positioning matters more than your price. Why do I say that? Because we have sold stuff for $100,000, $180,000, and $100. And the thing that mattered most was how we positioned ourselves. Even when we have free events, we still have people who show up who are 7-figure business owners. So it's not about the price. Like your price can attract and deter people. That's a fact. But I think that your positioning matters most. The first truth is your positioning matters most. So in whatever you do, make sure that you are positioning yourself in the light that you want to be positioned in, because that is what's going to matter most to your end buyer. Your positioning, your messaging, what you say you do, how you say you do it, the results that you're able to get for clients, all of that matters most. Now, second truth, price does matter to buyers. I know. Expertise is very important, but price does matter to buyers. When we buy a lot of things, we are trained in our brains to consider pricing. Now, the study that I read on pricing, it said that 70% of consumers consider price and 64% of consumers will switch to another product for a lower price. The good news is, that's the bad news. The good news is most consumers, when they're price shopping, they're shopping for like goods. This was a study about people who are buying like different soaps and different containers and things like that. But because of that, you need to know how people think. People do think about price. So as soon as you set your price, you are also telling your consumers who your competitors are. So if you are in the high ticket space, like we sell high ticket coaching and consulting programs, people are also looking at they may be looking at other high ticket coaches and consultants and figuring out which one they want to work with. There's nothing wrong with that. But when you know that that's a consideration, you need to get very clear on what is your unique value proposition. What are your frameworks? What is your IP? What is your process that other people cannot teach? And then you need to infuse your marketing message in your DNA so that people are deciding to work with you, not just based on price, but because they know they want what you have that other people do not have. And I'll tell you the truth. I'm in a lot of programs. I'm in a lot of communities. There's a lot of ways people may think they're going to get close to me. I teach my frameworks in my program, bar none. You see what I'm saying? So like, I don't teach in other programs like what we teach in our mastermind program. So if you want our processes and frameworks and our deep dives and our behind the scenes, you learn that from me. You don't learn that from someone who learned it from me. You learn from me directly. And so that is kind of how we are differentiating. But just know that is a thing. Like people are looking for, sometimes people are price shopping and sometimes those aren't your customers, but sometimes you just need to do a better job of communicating to them why your value is there and why they're not going to lose out by working with you specifically. Third truth about pricing that I think is really important is that you may want to consider this. You price for value to the client, not the value that you perceive it has. So price for value to the client, not for value you perceive it has. So what I mean by that is like sometimes people are like, oh, this comes really easy to me. I'm not going to charge a lot for it. Or, oh, it'll only take me an hour. I'm going to charge for the hour. I'm not going to charge for the value to the client. But if what you're giving them can change their life forever, then you need to charge for the forever, not for the hour. And I find that people don't price appropriately because they don't think holistically about their price. Either they price way too high because they don't understand their value in the marketplace. They don't understand the competitive landscape. They don't understand the other people that people can work with, or they price way too low because they understand. You know what I mean? They like literally, they undervalue what they got, like they undervalue it. They're like, oh, they undervalue it. Totally. They undervalue it. And so I want to make sure that you all don't fall into that trap. I wanted to make sure I shared these 3 truths about pricing with y'all. We got in and got out today wanted to make sure you also had that data. I thought it was very interesting. And also companies are considering something called dynamic pricing, which is a strategy in which prices are adjusted real time. It's a product strategy. Whenever you have inventory, I think you could do this better than like an expertise, but think about how it could maybe work for your expertise. You adjust your pricing based on demand in the marketplace. So if it's a slow season for you, maybe you're more willing to lower your rate than you are in your busiest season. In your busiest season, you may raise your rates in the month of March because you get more bookings in that month than any other month. Dynamic pricing also can be seen in the airline industry. Based on demand, we have an Airbnb. So based on our demand, our price may be lower on some days where we're not booked, higher on days where we are booked, and it happens automatically based on demand. How can we then take that as experts and infuse that strategy into our businesses so that we are always fully at capacity? And our product is our time. So if you think about your time as product, you can think about how a dynamic pricing strategy may actually work. Companies that use this pricing strategy increase their sales an average of 1 to 3%, depending on the industry and the product that they sell. And so keep that in mind. Harvard Business Review did a study on that. I also saw some other studies on dynamic pricing. So if you want to lead or learn more about this, just search Harvard Business Review dynamic pricing and see some of the research that we saw in this area. All right, y'all. Talk to you soon. Oh, by the way, make sure you're coming to Black Women Sell Live. We're going to have some incredible sales strategies that we unveil. And for the first time, we're talking on our evidence-based selling framework, which we have not unveiled at any other event, but this one. You will want to be in that room. Use code podcast to get a little gift from me off your ticket price.